Country Extra.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. When I say we're back, it's the first one, ladies and gentlemen. It's the first one. It's Bush Radio. Listen to Bush, 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 listen to Bush. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a fantastic show lined up for you today. Absolutely wonderful. We've got original music artists, we've got original comedy, we've got poets, we've got chaps with metal sculptors, we've got all sorts of stuff. Just hang in here. I'm going to ring our mates up, find out what's going on. We've got a couple of guests in the studio. What's the what are we going to hear? Oh, we've got Boris. Boris.
Yes.
And Bruce.
Nice to speak to you. Nice, marvellous.
Yes.
Oh, flip me, that was hard work. Yeah, I can calm down a bit now. Hope you've had a pleasant Sunday. Here we are, 8 p.m. on the 11th of July, Sunday night. Oh, yeah, I think we just need to calm down a bit, really. That was a bit energetic. Lads, I think we're going to put some music on. Have you got any particular stars? I don't ring a mate.
Well, I do like a bit of Sammy Davis Jr. It's absolutely marvellous. He can do anything, you know.
Apart from the vegan sausage roll.
He can sing, he can dance. But have you ever heard him play the spoons? Fantastic.
We're focusing mainly on original music here at Bush Radio, lads. But, I might be able to fit.
Well, there's only one original, and that was Sammy Davis Jr. Yes. He was the first, the last. He was my everything.
Make a note of that. Boris, have you got anything?
It's superfluous to ask, about the country, there's music, the classical music, that great lipstick powder and paint, they are
karaoke songs you do.
I do know a song called "Money" by Barrett Strong. There's yes.
Well, we've got. I'm going to ring Omar up in a bit, and we're going to put one of his songs, and we're going to have a little chat with him. But if you want to do a bit of, do you want to have a little practice to yourself, and we'll stick you on.
Yes.
Let's put a bit of Omar Anthony on. Omar Anthony, mate from the Bush, lived at the Bush for a while. Actually, we used to play cricket across the landing. There was an old safe. Lost the key. Presumably there's nothing in it. There's never been anything. So that was the wicket, and it was sort of right arm down the corridor. There you go. Let's have a bit of Deceived by the Lights by Omar Anthony. I actually recorded this on the top of a car park in town, the red car park. What's that red car park called? Do you know the one I mean?
The Cage.
That's the one.
The Cage at Smallwood Queensway. Yes, I used to park there actually when I was at the Hippodrome. Yeah. Did I ever tell you I did the Hippodrome? Oh, I had a wonderful time. I did about 3 seasons in 1 month.
Right, let's go. Let's go with Deceived by the Lights.
There's nothing in the city
Ladies and gentlemen, Deceived by the Lights by Omar Anthony.
Mr. Bojo
Let's give Omar a bell, see what he's up to. I remember recorded the video of that on the big red car park in Brum. What's that called, lads?
It was the cage. I used to park my Bentley there when I used to work down at the Hippodrome. I did about 3 seasons in a couple of weeks. It was absolutely marvellous.
Right, let's give Omar a bell and see what he's up to.
Went to Mr. Egg afterwards.
It's a
fantastic restaurant.
You know, I used to live in Bilston. You know?
Omar, it's Dave from the Bush Radio.
Hello.
You're on the air. How you doing? Are you here? Just to let you know, we've got Boris, and we've got Boris, and we've got Bruce
Marvelous.
here in the studio.
Boris, not Boris Johnson. I'll tell you.
Well, it looks like it might be. They just pulled him off the street. We've just been listening to Deceived by the Lights, mate, the one we recorded the video on top of the car park. Do you remember?
I do indeed. We did a little a short promo on top of a well-renowned Birmingham car park. Yes.
It only took us about 5 hours, didn't it? I think.
It took us. I think we had to go back. I think we did it over 2 sessions, as I recall.
Well, what a surprise!
That's useless, absolutely useless. Piggy wiggy.
So what's the thoughts behind the Deceived by the Lights, mate?
The thoughts behind it. What was the thinking? The thinking was, I believe I got the title from a book. I think it was a book about. It was a book by a spiritualist lady, I think, called Deceived. Oh, what was it called? I don't know. It was something to do with the afterlife. Anyway, so I kind of slightly plagiarised the title, as I recall. It was a long time ago, long time ago, and I think it was the song that I. Originally it was acoustic, so I don't know. I think you possibly have got the acoustic version somewhere. And then I just thought I'd beef it up a little bit. You know, I put some beats behind it, make it a bit more interesting. That was the thinking behind it, anyway.
Yeah, well, it's definitely got it's got us all upbeat and tapping our feet here at Bush Radio. Anyway, what did you?
Bush Radio, congratulations on the new show. Can I just say?
Oh, thanks so much. So we're on Black Country Xtra, as you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what have you been watching the football? Because it's actually as we're going out, it's actually the Euros Cup final at the moment. Did you watch the game, the semi-final?
Oh, the semi-final I did watch. Of course I did. Yes, I did indeed, and it was. I had it on about 2 or 3 different TVs actually, because I was trying to get the place ready for my sister returning from South Africa. So I kind of had it on while I was doing lots of jobs. So I probably watched it on.
Sounds like a song by Toto, doesn't it? That the sister returning from
Cape Town.
Yeah.
But she's had to stop in Serbia and Montenegro because that's on the amber list. So she's been there to sort of avoid quarantining for too long.
Is that something to do with the Savo Milosevic?
It's that area, and they it's
Savo
part of the world. Yeah. Great.
Good left foot.
Footballers and tennis players is their speciality.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So, what do you reckon the result for tonight then?
Tonight, Matthew. Well, do you know what? I think Adrian Charles put it quite well in that he said if Italy and England played each other 10 times, I think, and I agree actually, England would probably win 5, and Italy would probably win 5, wouldn't they? So it's going to be very, very tight. It's going to be a 1-0 England victory.
Yeah, I can see it. I think it's the first.
It'll go to extra time. It'll be another one of these long, because the semi-final, you could just see it had extra time and pens written all over it until we got the slightly dubious pen from Mr. Pound Sterling.
Well, this Italian team is definitely going to be the best team we played so far. Obviously, I mean the German team is not a German team of old. The Danes are useful, so this will be the big test. But we'll see anyway.
Graham Taylor used to say this is a test.
Yes.
And it will be.
Yes, Graham Taylor.
Now,
When I
now
win,
this is a test.
when I win, I stay in, and when I lose, I go on the booze. So we're gonna play another one of your songs now, mate.
I hope he's watching that. I hope he's looking down on this.
He'll be looking down. I still regret. I was in South Africa once, and he was in the same hotel, and I missed him. Never mind. That's what happens when you. Right, we're going to play.
South African anecdotes here. I like it.
We're going to play. We're going to play. What's the day? So apart from Thursday, what do you want to say about that, mate?
That's a very old one. That was recorded in my Bearwood. I was going to say in the Bear. No, in Bearwood. In my days of living in a flat, my bachelor pad on the border of Edgbaston in Bearwood.
What was the road? What road was that? What road was that on the Bear?
It was Sandon Road. I lived on.
Oh, I know Sandon Road. Well, that's the just by the loading bay to Safeway, isn't it?
Sure. Look for it now.
Yeah, that's where I used to do. You know, that was my job there. Yeah.
Well, I used to shop in what was because Safeway became, what did it? Did it become Aldi or did it become a Co-op or something?
Became a quick save.
Went to Morrison's for a bit. Now it's half Aldi and half Argos, or maybe all Aldi now.
It's like a half and half football scarf.
Half and half football scarf. Right, we're struggling for time, so we're gonna play. What's the day? It's great to speak to you, mate, and I'll hopefully see you soon.
Up the England, that's all I can say.
Nice one, mate. Cheers.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheerio.
So that was Omar there at the posh end up Oakham way, and we're going to go into What's the Day by Omar Anthony. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Omar, Anthony and What's the Day. So I'm living in the Cradley Heath area at the Bush, B645EA. That's on the border of Dudley. And we've got, on the border of Dudley and Sandwell, we've got the Mouse Sweet Nature Reserve. And I popped down there the other day to meet up with my pal Tim Tolkien to go and have a little look at his sculptures down there.
Tolkien, you're telling me lies.
Yeah, thanks, guys. This is actually supposed to be a serious part of the show. We're talking about real art. Okay. So, if I can get a word in edgeways, lads, thank you. Yes, I went down to meet Tim. So let's have a little listen. So it's a lovely day in. Well, I suppose officially we're on the old Staffordshire, Worcestershire border. So in Staffordshire now, Cradley Heath, and then we've got the Mouse Sweet Brook. And if you cross that, you go into Dudley, which is old Worcestershire. So,
well, this was all part of Saltwell's Colliery, wasn't it?
This was part of Saltwell's Colliery. We need to check the map. I'm with Tim Tolkien. Good friend of mine. I think he'd say the same.
The path we just walked along used to be the mineral railway, didn't it? That went round to Mushroom Green. So I'm sure that was all part of the colliery.
Oh, of course. Yes. Yes. So if people know the area, you know that the Mouse Sweet Brook Nature Reserve, where we are now, links with the Saltwells Nature Reserve, and in between is Mushroom Green, which is sort of part of Quarrybank, and it's like a little Trumpton village, isn't it?
and the Mouse Sweet Brook flows into the River Stour, which joins just by Cradley Forge, which is why I think you had the joining together of the two waters there, and that's why you had that extra power for running the Cradley Forge.
The power as it hits the junction.
Two waters joining together.
So that's the bottom of Quarrybank. The pub there called the Wagon and Horses, which is still going. I think it looks like they've spent a few quid on it recently when I went past on various outdoor.
Well, they were just for smokers, but now everybody has to sit outside, don't they?
Yeah, everybody gets a tan now. Yes. Well, actually, no, people can go inside now, but it's at your own risk. So yeah, I'm with Tim Tolkien, who's. What do you call yourself from the artist point of view?
I'm a public artist.
Public artist?
And metal sculptor.
There we go.
And there's the brook, or as a tributary to the brook.
A tribute brook, yeah. Couldn't get the real thing, so we had a tribute. So we're going to go past your ducks in a minute, aren't we?
We sort of walk round them at the moment, haven't we? So they're sort of on a little hill.
Because we've got... Because it is indeed July the 2nd, July the 3rd.
Yeah,
July the 3rd. So we've got lots of stingers and growth. So we can't really.
Well, we've sort of walked past it. Really, we need to go back round that way where we've just come. But we can do that.
We've been rambling.
Yeah,
rambling on and
more ways than one.
Miss the ducks. So yeah, we're gonna look at the ducks and describe the ducks because this is audio. So do you want to tell us a bit about the ducks?
Well, it was. I've been making public sculpture in this area for quite a long time, and this is my closest piece of public art to where I live, which was really nice to get that as a local commission. And I was commissioned by the Friends of Mouse Sweet Brook. And the original idea was that we were going to work with the local community and gather as much scrap metal and junk that we could from around the nature reserve, and I was going to make something out of whatever we found. But that just happened to coincide with a time when the scrap steel prices were really high, and the whole of the countryside was picked completely clean. Everybody was just weighing everything in, grabbing any bits of metal they could find and weighing it in. So we did a big litter pick, and there was plastic bottles and stuff, but nothing we could use really. So in the end, we spoke to 2 local companies. One, Bird Stevens, that were on top of Quarry Bank Hill, that's made hollowware and galvanised, and so they made mop buckets and watering cans. And we spoke to Bradney Chains that were down on Mushroom Green that still produced chain, although most of it was imported and then reassembled over here. And those 2 companies gave me most of the metal that I needed to make the sculpture.
Oh, right.
But incidentally, both those companies have now gone. So just in this last 10 years, we've lost those 2 local companies that went back right to the beginnings of the industry in this area.
So was that due to this sort of owners selling the brand to abroad, or?
Well, I think it was just it's the competition from abroad, really. Yeah, I think so much of our manufacturing, as everybody knows, has gone to China. And even locally assembled stuff is still the main bit of industry is made elsewhere.
Well, let's have a stamp through these stingers. I've got short. Some of you got more sense.
That serves you right.
So
yeah, the one duck's completely disappeared under stinging nettles, but it does reappear at certain times of the year. So they are maintained, which is quite nice.
So we've got a male and a female duck.
Yeah, we've got
a mallard, is it?
Yeah, mallard, and I used an old gas bottle cut up to make his head. That is why that top bit's green. So that wasn't painted afterwards. It was a green gas bottle that I cut up to make.
So if people know the mallards, they see them on the canal. And
yeah.
So the male one is generally a little bit bigger and with the green
head. That's
the
right.
green
yeah.
head, and the female's brown.
The female is very brown, and so we've just let the chain and the scrap metal rust to brown, so they're very, very natural looking. And the idea was that they could be climbed on and sat on. And there's the date on it, 2009.
Oh.
2009. So 12 years ago.
What? Oh, that's your name there on the top.
Yeah.
And what? So just looking at them, just looking at the striking pieces of metal that have been used can be identified as. So what is the eyes?
Well, the eyes are actually they were some bits of scrap that I had from my brother. So they're car parts. So those are clutches, and they just make fantastic eyes.
They do.
So they're clutches. The other bit of car parts are the feet, which you can't see because they're overgrown. But
I'm not digging in.
No, but they're parts of the suspension, what's called a lower suspension arm off of Ford Mondeo, and I welded 2 of those together, and they make really good webbed duck's feet. But the rest of it, the male duck in particular, what looks like the breast feathers, they are the tops of watering cans. So there's dozens of watering cans assembled together.
So just level down with the eye.
Yeah, underneath his beak.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So they're if you imagine a watering can.
So they came from the old galvanised.
They came from So they were ones that they hadn't used.
See.
And I also had a lot of stampings from them. So they're the pieces of metal that are left once you've stamped the piece out that you want to keep. So in manufacturing, they'll have a big piece of metal and they'll stamp components out, and then you're left with the scrap. And I had a lot of that scrap from them, and cut that up and use that. And then there's quite a lot of chain involved as well, which obviously came from Bradney's, which just gave a sort of a link to the past.
There we go. There we go. So if people want to come and see them, they need to enter the nature reserve. So if you're at the train station, you come out the train station, you turn left, and then you
Newpool Road,
which is a sort of 1970s sort of estate, 60s, 70s new estate. You go into there. Some of the parking's restricted, but you can find parking as you go further in. And there isn't an actual car park, is there? I don't think.
Yeah, there might be for residents though, but
yeah, I think they are. You'll find somewhere to park, and then you
can drive straight to the end of Newpool Road, and if you can park, then you just walk out at the end, and you're onto the green bit down the bank.
So we're just going to take a little break there. Tim is in a band with his pals. In a band, they play infrequently. I think the last time was 4 years ago because the drummer's in San Francisco. But we're just going to have a little break and play some of Klangstorm's music. This one was recorded live at the Bush in 2014. It's named after the atmosphere on the day, because if I remember rightly, I was at work. Oh, was I at work? Was I doing something else? I went out for the day anyway. I said you can use the place for free, but there's not going to be any heating on. So this is Cold, live at the Hollybush 2014, Klangstorm. So that was Klangstorm there. I've been doing my little walk, listening to that with Tim, and that was Klangstorm, where Tim, Gid, Jim, Robbie, Viv and Phil Chervy. You can often find those guys hanging out down at Claptrap in Stourbridge at the open mic on a Sunday. We're just going to pick up where we were with the walk with Tim around the nature reserve. So we were just chatting about the glamorous car parking options there. Yes, so parking on the Newport estate, or if you can get the bus to Cragley Heath bus terminal,
and it's a 5-minute walk, or from the train station down to here. To find them, if you've got your phone, you need to find the junction with Silverthorne Lane. I'm trying to think how they can find you to that path there. Come down
if you
there.
come out of Newport Road and you just walk past the end of Newport Road, you're onto that path. You're onto that corner there on the top.
So if you go to the very end of Newport Road, and then you've got to hit the nature reserve there and sort of go down.
Yeah, sort of straight
the
on
hill.
slightly to the left, and you go down the bank.
But the best thing to do, of course, if you can't see them, is ask somebody. And most of the people that are here will be regular dog walkers, so just have a word and where's the ducks, mate? And hopefully they'll know.
Well, at this time of year, we can hardly even see the pond, can we? Because they overlook the pond, but the pond is completely overgrown as well. But in spring, and when they've done their big mowing, the ducks sit quite prominently on a hill, and in the winter they're very obvious, which is quite nice. And you can walk round the ducks and then over the little bridge, and then you're off towards Salt Wells itself, to Mushroom Green and Salt Wells itself.
So the ducks are pretty much looking in the direction of
some real
Saltwell.
ducks down there. One in the pond.
Oh, is it a moorhen or a coot?
Yes.
So when I say a coot, I mean not as in as someone left their leather jacket. Someone left their coot in the water.
Coot in the cut.
Coot in the cut. So yeah, that's like it looks a bit like a swamp, doesn't it?
It's very overgrown these days. There was a time.
There was a boardwalk thing, wasn't there? The council
further over, yeah, and that all went rotten, which is a shame. And there was no money to maintain it, really.
So what did you say? If somebody wants to get involved with this nature reserve, do you know who the contact is for that?
I don't anymore. I mean, excuse me. I don't anymore, because it's 12 years since I was commissioned by the group. But I'm sure the group still meet and have something to do with maintenance. But the council hasn't got so much money to maintain things these days. They took their policy to just cut paths through quite a few years ago now, rather than keep it all mown, which obviously is great for the animals and insects and bees and stuff as well. But
yeah, it does look quite nice. It looks, yes, I know what you mean. They literally plough through
there's a few paths.
Plough through a sort of a 10-foot.
Yeah.
Well, a bit bigger than that. 3 metre.
And there will be a time of year where someone will come by with a strimmer and cut all these nettles down. That will happen, but it only happens every few months.
Well, I was down here the other week with it. Well, actually, I think it was last summer with the art yard, because Martin and Harry and Warren were running one of their painting things, and it was a beautiful day, and the guys were painting various painting and drawing, and there was someone here. They picked the same day as the council came with the strimmers. So there you go.
Yeah, so I think it's once a year.
Well, shall we? Let's carry on a bit. So what are you working on at the moment? So what are you working on at the moment?
The moment I'm working on a memorial for my great uncle to go in a college in Oxford. It's quite an intricate piece, and it's taking me a lot longer than I wanted to really. But I'm just day by day just moving that forward a bit.
Is this the brass?
It's got a bronze plaque in the middle, but the bulk of it is made of steel, and then will be bronze coated, hot metal sprayed. So it'll look like the whole thing's cast in bronze, but most of it will be made of steel.
Oh, okay.
Which is obviously cheaper.
So
my great uncle was J.R.R. Tolkien, who obviously wrote Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and he wrote most of the main books whilst he was Professor of Anglo-Saxon at Pembroke College, Oxford. So Pembroke have commissioned me to make a memorial that will sit under the window of his lodgings, his old lodgings.
Pembroke College. I was very lucky as a kid. We used to go to. I know it's not the same place, but we used to go to Pembrokeshire, Tenby, Saundersfoot, every year for summer holidays.
Well, I'm guessing that's what the college was named after. So.
Well, of course, yeah, yeah. So, do you get involved with any of the other? Do you get involved with any other Tolkien J.R. Tolkien related stuff?
There's always people that want to include me in things, but everything with my game, it's always down to money. I've got 2 or 3 potential jobs on the go at the moment, but none of them have actually got any money. So,
right.
So any job's the same, and unless someone comes up with the money, it's not really a job. So.
Yeah, it's a favour,
or it's an idea. You know, it's a wish. But there's always initiatives to commemorate my great uncle, especially in and around Moseley and Birmingham. But most of them are the same thing. They're nice ideas. At least the Pembroke College one has got some money, so it's just down to me to finish making it now.
So a quick story. Not that it needs to be a quick story, just a quick story on the. You mentioned in the Moseley and that sort of thing. So, because you have told me this before, and I have to just get it right. So JR and your granddad were brothers.
Yes.
And when they were, so where did they live when they were kids?
They came back to this country. They were born in South Africa to Midland's parents, and they came back to visit with their mother when they were quite small boys, and they lived in the Hall Green area, which is near Serho Mill, and Moseley Bog, which is the area where the two would have grown up as small children and played, and that's where a lot of the early imaginations came from. And then they went to school in and around Birmingham, so they lived in Birmingham, and were linked with the oratory because their father died while they were in England. So
on that holiday,
yeah. So effectively, he stayed in South Africa and he died in South Africa, and so they were effectively in England with their mother and effectively destitute because they hadn't got anyone to look after them. The mother then died a bit later on from the effects of diabetes, because they didn't have insulin in those days, so she died in her early 30s from the effects of diabetes. So the two brothers were effectively orphans at quite an early age, really, and supported by the Catholic Church through Father Francis Morgan at the oratory in the middle of Brum.
So the family now keeps that sort of link.
So let's have another little break there from the walk, another little sit down, and we'll listen to some more Klangstorm. This one's from The Bush again, 2012. It's called March of Sleipnir. If anybody knows what that means, you can write in and we'll have a chat about it. So it's March of Sleipnir by Klangstorm.
Let's smart you sleep near by Clangstorm. Now let's jump up off that bench again and go and have a little wander around the nature reserve.
Granddad.
Yeah, Arthur Tolkien, who stayed in South Africa, he died of, I think it was rheumatic fever or something like that. It was quite short and sharp.
So what age was he?
I forget.
Be young though.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, the sort of age you would be to have 2 very small children. So.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, I don't do that very well. I think we'll leave that bit out. Well, the sun's shining.
Yeah, it's nice. We've taken a walk back round on itself, so we're doing the circuit. We've crossed over the Mouse Sweet Brook now, and we're moving on towards the confluence of the two streams in a bit. If we'd gone to the right, we could have gone round to Mushroom Green and on to Saltwells. And Saltwells, of course, has got quite a nice sculpture trail and a lot of bits of rusty metalwork made by Luke Perry around and about.
Oh, there's so much, and every time I wander around there, I see something new.
Well, I think
there's even stuff in the trees, isn't there?
Yeah, that's right. No, Luke's got some quite surprising little bits and pieces in there. I think there are people who would like to have a slightly more diverse and larger sculpture trail, getting more artists involved. So hopefully in the next few years, if a bit more money can be found from somewhere, it would be nice to have a wider sculpture trail with different artists, different materials.
Oh, so hopefully you'll be able to get involved.
Well,
and just see it yourself.
And a lot of other artists in the area. We've got, as you know, we've got a lot of artists in this particular area.
Oh, we've got Vince as well, haven't we?
With his ironwork. And
Blacksmith Vince.
Yeah, who's just finished a commission for Steve Field, celebrating Abraham Darby.
Yes, I've seen it. I was up there the other week getting firewood off him out of his yard. And he was there with his mate, knocking it up.
Yeah, it's been quite a piece of engineering, that. I saw it when it was being riveted together. Massive pieces of steel. I think it's rather pushed his physical capabilities in his reasonably small workspace to make such a heavy...
so what's it called? Iconoclast or something like that,
Iconoclast Constructs.
So he's also in Cradley Heath. He's just by the back of the other wagon and horses.
Yes.
On Cradley Heath there's a little... Well, there's an estate agent. There's a
chippy.
What do you call the bloody? What do you call the park? Not an estate. You know, the business park. What do you call it? Outlets, units. There's units. There's units there behind the new E&A.
Yeah.
Dear me. So this is due to go out on July the 11th.
Okay.
Which is the Euros final.
Okay.
Football final.
So no one will be listening then?
Well, apparently, yeah, it can be listened again. So hopefully there's people listening again. And I know your younger daughter plays.
She does.
Plays football.
Yeah.
She's into it. She's playing for
Withymoor,
obviously, ladies.
Withymoor girls.
Withymoor girls.
13s now. Or are they under 14s? Under 14s. They've just gone up. They've just changed.
So, is there... So England are actually playing today, as we record, in the quarter-final against Ukraine. As my mate says, everyone says the Ukraine, but it's not apparently the Ukraine, it's Ukraine. So, yeah, if we get through, will there be any interest? Will there be any interest in today's game or in the final, in the Tolkien household?
There won't be an awful lot. I mean, Hester loves her football, but she is not that bothered about watching it. We've seen a few live matches, usually the ladies' game, but no, it's a funny one. She's very, very keen on playing, but not that bothered about watching.
Well, we have been, haven't we? We've been down to watch our friend's daughter, Mark Moran. Esme playing for Stourbridge ladies, who are now in Tier 5. So, Tier 5 meaning, Tim, Tier 1, the top league, 5, the fifth one down.
We've got...
Oh, they've spent a lot of money here, haven't they, on this?
Yeah, so we've got the Mousesweet Brook going under a culvert towards the Stour, and we're just by the big cast iron pipe, which everybody knows is a local landmark and has been here for a long, long time.
Yeah, maybe you should move the ducks to the cast iron pipe. You could be anywhere, couldn't you? Here, although this is it's partially rerouted, isn't it? This this bit, so it's actually quite new, but it's you could be anywhere in the world. It's beautiful,
and somehow the rocks in the middle make it look more like you're up in Yorkshire or in the Dales or Lake District rather than the Black Country.
But this is where the art yard painting day was. Just people could go anywhere they wanted around the reserve, and there were some people painting this part, some people where we were before by the ducks. It's very nice.
So chatting there about the work of the art yard. I was down there yesterday having a little look. They've moved premises to the old John Jones shoe shop on between Craigley Heath and Old Hill. I remember when I was a kid we used to get there. We used to do the old Clarkson, the Starlights, and the girls were like punks girls. I remember as a kid. We had a good noise around. You're right there, lads. We've got another song coming up from Clangstorm. It's called A Piece of Cake. I could do with one of them too.
I like the Soup Dragon. He was very good in that, wasn't
it? Bit of cake to liven us up. What's your favourite cake, Boris?
And Clangstorm, and there was Father Clangstorm, and the baby Clangstorm. They were marvellous.
And my favourite, of course, the the dessert is obviously the British apple strudel.
Fresh or frozen?
Yeah.
I used to get them down me actually. It's bang one of them in the oven on the lunch hour. You do different ones. You do rhubarb, apple, bit of raspberry, nice with a whole
Brucey.
A whole Viennetta.
Brucey. The green room at the Hippodrome. Did you have any cakes on the slice?
My favourite cake is actually birthday cake, because it means that I'm still alive, and rumours of my death are greatly exaggerated.
You are stinking up the studio.
I'm actually living in a caravan in Womborne
a bit.
Womborne every minute.
Walk in a second. Gosh, thanks.
you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. We've known each other for so long, your heart's been aching but you're too shy to say it. Inside we both know what's been going on. We know the game and we're gonna play it. And if you ask me how I'm feeling, don't tell me you're too blind to see. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give. We've known each other for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it. Inside we both know what's been going on. Black Country Extra. Black Country Extra.
And now with your local news, I'm Natasha Amjad. An investigation has been launched by Westminster Police after 2 women were deliberately driven at in Wednesbury in the early hours of Sunday morning. The incident happened in Lower High Street just before 2 in the morning when a car mounted the pavement, hitting the 2 women before driving off. The women aged 19 and 20 suffered serious injuries and were taken to hospital where they remain in a stable condition. Detective Inspector Gemma Brack from 4CID is appealing for any witnesses who were in the area at the time and who have not yet spoken to the police to get in touch. The leader of Dudley Council has vowed to celebrate businesses across the borough as he launches his Made in Dudley Borough initiative. Councillor Patrick Harley pledged to continue to help businesses bounce back bigger, better and bolder from the pandemic. He had launched his Made in Dudley Borough initiative at Pear Tree Chemicals in Dudley, which has been transforming the cleaning world with its plastic-free products under its Iron and Velvet range. Dudley Council have already given out £150 million worth of support to businesses during the pandemic. But Councillor Harley said the council would double its efforts to get businesses booming after following the toughest year. A brand new award-winning boutique has opened its doors at the Merryhill Centre. Wild Iris of Iron Bridge specialises in women's clothing, jewellery, homeware and locally handcrafted gifts and artworks. Its owner, Toria Salisbury Scott, is passionate about sourcing local products wherever possible and is especially committed to showcasing the work of local artists. Wild Iris has also recently won the title of Best Clothing and Accessory Retailer of the Year for the Central England region in the prestigious corporate Live Wire Prestige Awards. And work has taken place at Woodside Library to take it down brick by brick ahead of a move to the Black Country Living Museum. Work to deconstruct the historic building is 85% complete, with new pictures showing the free library sign coming down this week as the latest part of the works. The library on Stourbridge Road will be a key feature of the museum's new multi-million Forging Ahead development, focusing on the period between the 1940s and the 1960s. The library is being reconstructed at the museum and the new attraction is set to open for visitors in 2023. And that's the latest. I'm Natasha Amjad.
Black Country Extra.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's Bush Radio. I think we're just about getting to the anchor of this now. Flip me. I hope you got your cake, folks. Did you get yourself some cake? Did you enjoy your cake? Oh, Boris.
Yeah,
Boris. Did you get some cake?
Of course, my favourite kind of cake is wedding cake. Of course, as the CSA are after me. They keep calling and leaving voicemails. Brucey cake.
Cake. My favourite cake is, well, I said it's birthday cake because it means I'm still alive. I tell you, last time I had so many candles on there, we had to have West Midlands Fire Service deployed nearby.
I met up with Mr. Kipling the other week.
Did you?
Yeah, and I gave a tennis with him. I tell you what, you should have seen the quality of his slices.
Hey, very good. It's nearly a joke.
There you go, on back next week. Right, let's carry on with the walk, folks. We're in the... Smell the air. We're in the Mouse Sweet Nature Reserve with Mr. Tim Tolkien.
So what are you working on? What are you working on at the moment?
Working on the memorial for my great uncle for Pembroke College.
Yep.
And also working on designs for a roundabout sculpture for Bryce Norton based on the propeller of the A400M transport and refuelling plane. You get asked to do the most odd things.
So where's Bryce Norton?
Bryce Norton is in Oxfordshire. It's one of the... it's an RAF base, Bryce Norton, so there's a big housing development near there, and there's a roundabout that feeds the housing development, and they're putting a sculpture on the roundabout, and they wanted to link it into Bryce Norton RAF base. And Bryce Norton is famous for the big transport planes, so a lot of the stuff that comes in from abroad comes into Bryce Norton, and it's always been the home of the refuelling aircraft from the time of the war with the Argentinians. They used to have the Vulcans fly from there, the refuelling planes. And currently they've got the Airbus A400M, which is a big heavy transport plane.
See, so the noise there in the background, we've got some kids trying to get into the next England squad for the World Cup, just practising against one of those sort of multi-purpose football goals, basketball.
It's a sadly much reduced little play area now. I think the teams have kind of burnt it and destroyed it for the last few years, and most of the play equipment has been taken away now. Even the swing frame, we've got no swings on it.
That was probably a restrictions thing.
No, I think it happened before then. They probably might have taken it away for restrictions anyway, but I think it happened before then.
So if people want to look at any more of your work, I know you've got the Spitfire Island down, Castle Bromwich. Yeah, near Castle Vale, near Jaguar. So that's still the biggest piece of sculpture I've been involved in. 20 years old now. Oh, you've got the film, Cedric Hardwick.
Yeah, in Lye Cross, just by the Balti House. It's another local piece. And of course the Quarrybank School fence, which marches down the hill towards Cradley Heath.
Well, that's only a 5-minute walk from here, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. That was a nice piece to be involved with.
So if people want to see some Tim Tolkien public art, they can get the bus down to Cradley Heath bus station and take in a couple of pieces, and then get on the get on the train and go to Lye. See that one. So the band, I'm familiar with the band that you're in, but that only plays sporadically.
Yeah, when you're open.
But hey, there we go. Every 5 years or so, because you've got your drummer in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's been longer than that now since he's been back. So yes, the drummer's been in San Francisco for about 15 years. But we have played a couple of times when he's come back. It's very hard when your lives move on and you have families and other commitments. It's difficult to keep getting out and playing things, really.
So Clangstorm. If people want to look it up, there's some videos online of gigs going back to late 90s, I think, isn't there?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, probably mid 90s. I think it was our 20th anniversary or 21st anniversary last year. But we haven't really played. The last time we played, I think, was in the bush, wasn't it? Which was a good few years ago now.
Yes. So the Clangstorm. So when I've seen you, guitars, bass, which you're playing bass, drums, and then literally a kitchen sink.
Yeah, all sorts of strange
car parts, metal bits in the middle, where the audience and yourself can
join in,
bash it. So is that where the clang storm?
That's the clang. That's right. Yes. So the metal art is the clang.
So I think it's got a bit of a Pink Floyd thing about it, hasn't it? Has it? Is that right?
That's been suggested, and Hawkwind and various other Can and various people from the 70s and 80s, the start of synthesizers and things.
So just chatting there with Tim about Clangstorm. We've heard some tracks earlier. I've got to. I've had a bit of sponsorship for the show, guys. So I'm just going to put this advert on now, just to keep things ticking over here at Bush Radio.
Are you dreaming of white beaches, palm trees, and the shallow blue waters of a tropical island? Well, guess what? It will probably be a long time until you can go anywhere fancy like that again. But don't feel bad, because we can promise fun at Copper Sands Holiday Complex in Skegness. It's the ideal staycation destination. No need to book, we have plenty of space. Just head for Skegness, then follow the signs for East Links Industrial Estate. If you get to Gasplas, the nation's #1 gas plastic injection moulders, just back her up about 100 yards. We have socially distanced bingo, 50% capacity COVID-safe donkey derby, and so much more. Book up in the next 14 days and pay a minimum 10% fully non-refundable deposit, and you will be issued with the Copper Sands VIP Platinum card. This will entitle you to all sorts of benefits, including free tea top-up at all meal times, and it will give you fast pass access to the launderette 3 till 5 p.m. every day except Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. Worried about COVID? No need to be. We are doing our bit for country and the community, and we've converted accommodation blocks B and F into a vaccination and quarantine centre. You will never forget your time at Copper Sands. The memories will last a lifetime. Please note, not all entertainment or offers are guaranteed, and free tea top-up is limited to a fair use policy. The sunshine or fun cannot be guaranteed. Hope to see you soon. And that's spelt SEA. Copper Sands.
Okay then, folks, so please get yourself off to Copper Sands. It all helps keep us going here on Bush Radio. Now,
did a summer season there in 1998.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you.
Now,
I was lucky enough to get invited into the Tolkiens for a cup of tea and a slice of cake. That was Wurzel Gummidge. You want a cup of tea and a slice of cake? There we go. Thank you. So Tim's kindly invited me in for a cup of tea, which is perfect for this hot day. And there's some activity going on in the kitchen with some strawberries in a colander. And we've got a mother and daughter, a culinary combination. So what are we doing with these strawberries?
We're making strawberry ice cream.
Oh, I see.
Homemade strawberries.
Homemade strawberries.
Made down the allotment.
GM. Made down the allotment. So, okay, so you've got the strawberries. You're obviously taking the stalks out. You're mashing them up.
Yeah.
So is that just standard full fat milk you're putting in there?
That's cream, sugar, and a bit of milk, bit of vanilla essence.
So is it single cream, double cream?
Whipping cream, that is. You can use whatever you like.
So whipping cream with extra sugar and what else? Vanilla essence.
A bit of milk, small amount of milk.
So without adding the strawberries, that would be your standard ice cream.
That would be vanilla ice cream, but we've got these strawberries that need using, so we're going to put them in the ice cream too.
And is that an ice cream maker there?
It is. You can make ice cream in about.
So we have a Cuisinart ice cream maker, which looks fairly retro. Is that how old is this piece?
It's not that old. I had it for my birthday a few years ago.
Oh, okay. 10 years old. It looks. It must be the. I don't know.
This is just the style of it.
Yes. So is this a regular thing? Is it ice cream making?
Yeah, it is. We've got some damson ice cream in the freezer that we made the other day. It's very good, isn't it, Kiz? Yep.
Very nice. Okay, so after it's whizzed round in the centrifuge or whatever you call it,
it's churned, is it? Just got the ice crystals forming in your ice cream.
well, that's what happens in the supermarkets, because I used to do the supermarkets. When you leave the frozen out all night,
Yeah, exactly the same.
and put it back in the freezer, you get all that.
Exactly.
So how long is the churning?
It will take about 20-25 minutes.
Did you check it and see what it looks like?
Yeah, we taste it on the way. Very important.
And your bowls are pre-chilled, aren't they? They come out the freezer.
Yeah, the bowls themselves are frozen, and that's what makes the ice cream freeze.
See? Right, okay, so when do we... Have we put the strawberries in yet?
No, the strawberries are going in shortly. I'm going to let the ice cream churn for a bit.
So we've got some holes in the top,
Yeah,
we just chuck them in the holes?
Pop it at the top.
Okay.
You can taste them later.
Oh, I don't do ice
You
cream.
don't do ice cream, do you?
No, I don't
Because
do
you're
ice
vegan,
cream.
aren't you?
Well, I get in trouble now, mainly.
We do make sorbet too, which has got no dairy at all. Only fruit. What sorbet have we made? Mango sorbet, that is good.
Is that damson sorbet?
I think we have made damson sorbet.
Damson sorbet, very nice. Okay, well, is this, so where can people buy this fantastic ice
Domestic
cream?
consumption only.
Waiting for you.
You have to do an online ice cream making course.
Oh, we're waiting.
Yeah, Zoom, actually, that's the name of an ice lolly, isn't it?
Zoom baking.
Yeah.
I was baking last evening, wasn't it?
Yeah,
With Kids in
scones.
America. Made scones for the Kids in America last night.
Hang on a minute. So that's a is that Kim Wilde?
Yeah, it is. We sing at the same time.
Yeah.
So who are these? Just online friends of Kizzy's?
No. It's a company. It's an online company that I work
It's
for.
an online course she does.
Oh, I see. So is there any sugar in there?
There is sugar in there.
Okay.
Do you want some strawberries? We've got some of those sugar in.
No, I'm okay. I've had
We didn't use them. We'll have some of those.
Do you want? I'll have one of those.
They're
Thanks.
nice. They're good.
Just black tea for me, please. Thanks. Thank you. Right then. Thank you very much, ladies.
Pleasure.
So we've still got the ice cream maker whirring away in the background, but we've taken one of the pots off.
That's right.
Because we put the strawberries in.
Yeah, it's a lovely pink colour now.
Having a look. So
Looks good.
are you going to? Have you tried it yet?
I've tried it. It's really nice. You can pop it in the pot and put it in the freezer. That looks gorgeous.
So what sort of standard are we comparing ourselves to a Ben and Jerry's product here, or
What do you think is what's it
the
comparable to?
is there a high quantity
Very
of fruit
high.
in there,
Organic.
more than what you would get in a normal
yeah,
strawberry?
yeah.
Because you don't get any fruit in a normal strawberry ice cream, do you?
But also the fruits only come a few hundred yards.
It's
from where
organic.
it's grown.
Organic fruits.
So it's very green strawberries.
Yeah.
Very
The carbon
green
footprint of these strawberries is minimal.
The carbon footprint. But you haven't got your own. You haven't got your own cows, though.
Not yet.
No, not yet. No. You had chickens, didn't you?
We did.
Well, the fox had
So the fox ate him.
Oh, fantastic,
Shame.
Mr. Fox. Right, I'm off then. I'm going to get back to the bush. And good to see you all. And happy ice creaming.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye for now.
Live first. Yeah.
Right, I'll catch you later.
And I know what you'll be if I feel like a beer.
That's right.
Yeah.
So thanks to the Tolkiens there for showing me how to make the ice cream, and a nice cup of black Earl Grey. Just what we needed there after that walk.
Talking of ice cream, I'd also like to point out that my absolute idol Thatcher actually helped create the Mr. Whippy ice cream, and she is amazing. You know that we're so.
Yeah, thanks.
Come on, yeah,
thanks.
Creamy.
Thanks, Boris, thanks. So, what's been going on at the Bush the last few weeks?
You can't let Maggie go.
Guys, I'm trying to do a bit of promotion, you know. I mean, it's a radio show.
Why did you invite us on if every time we speak you tell us to shut up?
It's so stressful. So stressful. Right, so we had a music gig the other week, which was fantastic. Alex Botton of Disquiet Black Country got a few bands together, and we had a lovely time. So you got Alex Botton and Claire Tomlinson in Disquiet Black Country. Then you got the lads Stu Tonks and Jeff Scott in Agents of Evolution. And coming in late was Ken Sutra and Dave Slater, who've got this duo with Dave on bass and Ken playing guitar and vocals. They're called The Mist. Now, it's The Mist with rain on percussion, because as you can imagine, if you've been to the Bush, you know the situation. There's a bit of a leaky drain pipe out the window, and you can hear the rain coming down. But it's recorded on my phone, which I just sat at the bar. But I think it's quite nice, and they've not been going long. Let's have a listen to The Mist.
Worn out places, lost hope on our faces. In the stage we're out. Nobody represents you. No one will compliment you. In the stage we're out. It's you who made us wise. In the stage we're out. Only time you feel alive when you break down and cry. In the stage we're out. Worn out places, lost hope on our faces. In the state we're out. Nobody represents you. No one will compliment you. In the state Thank you very much. Have a good night, everyone.
That's Ken Suter and Dave Slater there, The Mist. Oh, cracking little sound there, I think. We're now going to go into Disquiet Black Countries. Like I said, it's Alex Botton on bass and all his computer pedally bits. And Claire Tomlinson, huge friend and punter of the Bush, on drums. So she was in a band a few years ago, and Alex persuaded her to get involved and bang those pots and pans. So did you enjoy the first track there, lads?
Well, I imagine it was marvellous. I was actually doing my Sudoku at the time. Sorry about that.
Well, Alex Bottom, I always thought he was the top.
Thank you for that. Let's get on with this. Is called Recount. It's the session version. Disquiet Black Country. So that's Disquiet Black Country there with Recount. Yeah, they were playing live down the bush, like I said the other week, but I couldn't get a very good recording, and I was hoping to catch up with them at the studio, but I was busy editing all these voice notes, to be honest. So we're going to catch up with them next month and have a good chat with Claire and Alex there. And the next song is the other band that's playing on the night, so Agents of Evolution, Stuart Tonks and Jeff Scott. Played at the Bush many times, usually play with projected visuals behind them on the big screen. So if you just picture that, all sorts of stuff going on in a dark room, projecting back there, and Jeff on guitars and effects, and Stu on the keys, creating this sound. Agents of Evolution. This one's called Magazine. That's Agents of Evolution magazine. So I said we were going to have some poetry on the show today, but I've got these two guests who've been rather rude and generally interrupting.
Well, we're having a good time anyway.
Yeah. Let me just do a short one, shall I? Just do a short poem myself. This one's.
I haven't seen the promised lager though. I was giving at least one can, and he said a sandwich.
I was saw that by the canal after we're only just outside. There's the offie at the top.
Does he not know who I am?
Right, this piece is it's a short piece. It's only a few words. It's about that precious resource that falls from the sky. We can't live without it.
Planes.
And of course, no. And of course, this resource is metered and it costs money. And if you've got a large roof, it costs you even more. It's a short piece called Water. Don't leave the tap on. That's it, folks. Thank you very much. Right, so what's going on? Oh, yeah, thanks. Good.
He's got all Alan Partridge on us now.
So, what's been going on at the Bush? So, we've got comedy every Thursday. We've got a few music nights on. We've actually got a Bush Fest comedy weekend between the 15th and the 18th of July, so not this weekend, next weekend. That includes...
Who's on, Dave?
Well, it includes at 9 p.m. our headline act, thanks to sponsor Blue Giraffe Comedy, Glen Gandy. We've got our headline act. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for Glen Gandy, Blue Giraffe, our sponsor. Our headline act is none other than Pat Moynihan.
Hey!
A superb act, seen him loads of times. Get down there, proper professional act, see him on the telly, put him into YouTube. You'll see how good he is. Yeah, folks, we've got Brian Priest and JPM been putting drum and bass nights on down the Bush for quite a few years now. Good friends of mine, JPM used to live up the road. Unfortunately, JPM passed away recently. So we had a little gig for him last summer, and we're going to do one on July the 24th. And Brian Priest, known as Dirty, has sent me a little track to put out, which is a track that was sampled by him and JPM. The track was Crosses by Jose Gonzalez, and this is Filthy Habits and Dirty doing Dangerous Streets.
This is a dangerous street.
What's it called? Long time from before my partner sweet and dangerous, 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 dangerous. Long time from before my partner sweet and dangerous. This is a dangerous street. This is a dangerous street. What's it called? Long time from before my partner sweet and dangerous. This is a dangerous street. This is a dangerous street. What's it called? Long time
So that's Filthy Habits and Dirty there. Bit of drum and bass for a Sunday night. Now, Vince Thompson, another metal worker, bang, 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 got mentioned in the chat with Talking Around the Nature Reserves, and he's been working on a very special project recently. So I thought I'll go and knock on his door and see what he's up to. Let's see what Vince has got to say.
Oh yeah? Hello.
Vince.
Hi Dave, how you doing?
I'm alright. Yeah. Tim's been telling me about your project, that thing you've got on the by the Aldi at Dudley.
Yeah, Birmingham New Road.
Yeah.
It's up, it's in, it's done.
So this is Iconoclast Constructs, it says on the way in on the...
That's me, yeah.
Trading estate.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Iconoclast?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's an old term, sort of, it's got religious connotations around destruction of old religious icons, statues and things. Ooh. But there's the more modern meaning is really that it's sort of someone or a group of people who do things differently to the established way of doing them.
Well, so you came up with that name. That's it.
Well, I just like the alliteration, Iconoclast Constructs. I thought it rolled off the tongue and was clever, but really it just confuses everybody.
Yeah, fantastic. So, Iconoclast Constructs. So, what is it that you've... What is it? I was having a pint with Tim.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that you were working on this thing.
Yeah.
Just chatting like we do. So what is it that you've...
It's a memorial.
Constructed?
Yes, it's a memorial to Abraham Darby I, who in 1709 first used coke to produce cast iron.
Oh, is that the smelting?
Yes. So he did it.
I remember doing that at school. We did that at the Colebrookdale.
Yes. Well, the memorial sculpture is a representation of that. That furnace at Colebrookdale, and it's where he first did that procedure, and instead of using charcoal, use coke, because charcoal was in short supply at the time, whereas coke was available, and he changed the process. And it had been done before, but what he did was he made it into a commercially viable production method, so which pretty much changed the world, really.
Right. So people can go and see it. It's just there. It's pretty obvious if they go past there by the Aldi on the Sedgley.
Yeah, if you drive, if you go down the Birmingham New Road, say you're coming from the Black Country Museum, heading towards Wolverhampton Cosley, it's on the left there on the junction of Birmingham New Road and Sedgley Road.
So if they want to get a close look at it, can they sort of park near it?
There is. You would have to turn left at that junction, and then there's some residential streets that you can park in. Don't go en masse, you know.
Well, yeah. I think we can have gatherings now.
Yeah, you can now.
It would be okay, a gathering.
Yeah, but I'm not. It's the residents. I don't think the residents would appreciate everyone parking there. And it's got railings up around it at the moment, so. You can't really get to it up close, but they are going to landscape the area, and it's going to be opened up, and then people will have access to it, no problem.
Oh, super! So how would you describe it? Because we're on the radio, aren't we?
Okay. Yeah. Well, let me paint a picture. It's a large sculpture with a main back piece, which represents the furnace at Coalbrookdale, and it's about 13 foot high. There's a main panel, and then two figures on the top who are pouring coke into the furnace. There's a piece in the centre that represents the furnace and the flames, and then on the ground in front of it, there is a piece that represents the sow and the pigs. So the molten iron pouring from the furnace that would be going would have been cast into pig iron. And that's represented on the ground. And then there are castings which were produced by Thomas Dudley, Ian Dudley, and then they're actually cast iron chunks, basically, that represent the ingots, the iron ingots.
So who designed it?
The borough artist Steve Field. So he works for the council. And he's the one who approached me for the commission.
Oh, superb.
Yeah. But there are some figures as well that are working those castings in front. I think the tallest one is 6 foot, so it's about as tall as me. And they get smaller, and it's to give an idea of forced perspective, so that the figures at the front are bigger than the ones at the back, and it gives this forced perspective idea to make it look like it's bigger than it actually is.
Normally, you work on sort of ornamental tables and things, lots of riveted furniture.
There are rivets on the sculpture, and that was one of the reasons why Steve approached me and why I wanted to do it, because it was an opportunity to use rivets, hot riveting in the process of fabrication rather than welding. There is some welding, which was necessary, but the main piece at the back, the furnace, is 12mm steel plate, and then it's riveted together with 7/8 inch rivets, so 22mm rivets, which are formed hot and formed with a hydraulic press, either a hydraulic press or a pneumatic hammer, the same way they would have done it 100 years ago, building ships and skyscrapers and bridges.
So it's a real diversity, isn't it, of projects? Because going from their furniture to this sort of thing, so you'll be hoping to get more art jobs, I presume. After doing this, you'll be in the ring with Tolkien and going to have to pause this bit. Pause. What's his name? Luke.
Luke Perry, yeah.
You'll be in the ring with Tolkien and Luke Perry, won't you, for all the...
Yeah, I'd love to do more stuff like that. I usually work on furniture, so it's small scale. You can see my workbench here is about 3 foot by 2 foot. So that's the sort of scale that I'm usually working at. But to make something that large, it took up a lot of my workshop. I had to turn my processes upside down, but it was great fun to do. Really enjoyed it. I'd love to do more big scale stuff like that.
I think I've missed something. Did you say why it's in Dudley?
Oh well, yes, we did miss that out. The whole reason it's
is that
there,
where he's from?
He's born there. Yeah,
right,
he was born in Woodsetton, which is technically a little further up the Sedgley Road. That's
Holden's Brewery, isn't it?
That's the region where he was born. But it was decided to put it on at the end of the Sedgley Road on the Birmingham New Road, just because it was a better location for it, really. But yeah, that was the whole purpose of the sculpture. It was there was community groups, so there was Woodsetton community.
So thanks very much. I was glad to find you in. I just thought I'd nip up, but I've got to go and see. Hoping to go and find Warren from the Art Yard in.
Oh yes,
because they're moving to a new premises. So yes. I want to try and have a little nose around. He did invite me the other week, so I'm hoping he'll be in. Have you got any interest in the football? It's all the thing, isn't it? The football. Every man and lady and their dog are
football.
It is. I mean, I am into football. I mean, I've got a season ticket house in town, and I'm a Villa fan. I've been for years, and I take an interest in it. But it's good. It's a good positive thing. So have you no interest whatsoever?
The thing I like about the football is that when it's on, the roads are quiet and you can just drive home really easily. It's no problem.
There you go. Well, I think that sums it up. Vince, thanks very much, and good luck with your new.
Thank you.
With your new projects.
Yeah.
And have you got a website that people can look at your work?
I've got a website now.
I've got a Facebook thing.
I've got it. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. If you want to see more of my work, Instagram's the place to go.
So what do they put in? What do they tap in?
Just Iconoclast Constructs. That's ICONOCLAST and then Constructs. You know how to spell that. And have a look on that.
Hopefully they do as well.
Instagram, yeah, and give me a follow. You can see what I do.
I'll have a look. Thank you very much, Vince. And see you soon. I'll let you know if we're doing an arts fest. You'll have to come and have a nose.
Yeah, definitely.
Down the road.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, that's Vince Thompson. Thanks very much, Vince. I did nip down the art yard and met up with Harry Martin and Warren, but we couldn't do recording because it was a bit noisy. They're so hard at work in it. It just looks fantastic what they're doing. There's all sorts of bits of balconies and nooks and crannies upstairs and a cellar, so they'll be exhibiting and doing all sorts of performance in there soon, so look out for that. John Jones Shoe Shop. Come out from the Tesco towards Old Hill, just on your right hand side there, double fronted old shop, very nice. I got a mate of mine now from the posh end, Lappel. So I think that's B62. So it's my pal Malcolm Slater. He's been writing songs now for quite a few years, and this is one of his. It's called The Next Adventure.
The storm has passed, see the sun at last, and you're on your way home. Flying through the sky, 8 zones of time, but you know time's just a number. I see you at the door, and you're looking more pretty than I remember. So we start again to find some zen in that other September. And the time flickers past as we play the next scene. There's hope and there's worry, but we call for what we've seen. For They helped us though, make your hearts more tender. We left and cried, we swam against the tide. I felt calm like the ocean. Now find you here, as we break the air, on a wave of emotion. And the time flickers past, as we play the next thing. There's hope and there's worry, we come for what we've seen. For love, for life, for being true, shine like life's an open book. So you can't into the sea, my island, you and me, For love, for life, for hope, being true, share life's life's an open book. Oh, you can't into the sea, my island, you and me, yeah. For love, for life, for hope, being true, share life's life's an open book. Oh, you can't into the sea, my island, you and me, yeah.
That's the next adventure by Malcolm Slater.
That was nice. I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed the ending the
I
best.
certainly did. It was a lovely ending. Very golden gill trapped, wasn't it?
Well, I think your opinion is most valid, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you for that. We're coming towards the end of the show. I've not managed to squeeze everything I wanted to in. But we need to have a bit of football chat again, because I'll be off down the Grove soon to watch the friendlies, and I got my my pal Guy the Yelts Doc to give us a really speedy update about what's going on down elsewhere in town.
Now, I speak a lot of Tosh, but that did not make sense to me at all.
All right, DS. Nice to hear you on the airwaves. This is Doc here from the homeland and heartland of Halesone Town, supporting in Harrogate in North Yorkshire. It's a lot like Collygate, where I grew up, only the view of Tanhouse Flats isn't as nice from here. Anyway, big game today, recording this on Wednesday. Everybody's saying they've got to play Jack. They've got to play Jack. He's the best we've seen for a long time, and that's true. Jack Holmes, young lad playing for Halesone Town in the midfield this year. Get down there and see him, because he will be playing league football next year. As good a talent as I've seen down there since the days of the Joinsons and the god that was Jeff Moss. As usual, at this time of year, there's a lot of turmoil. We've been placed in a new league, a sideways move like Ben Steen, our old midfielder, to the snappily titled Northern Premier League Division 1 Midlands. That's level 4 of non-league, 4 promotions below the old 4th division, and probably 1 or 2 levels below where we should be, but we're on our way back. Lots of new signings, as there always is at this time of year in the non-league. Our club secretary's busier than the analyst for the Pakistan one-day team. He's got 18 new blokes to look at, and we've got about half a dozen so far, with more to come. We've got a few old faces. We've kept the spine of the side that we've had for the last 2 or 3 truncated seasons. Evo and Macca at the back, Molly up front, Ashmore, Richard Gregory, Robbie Bunn in the middle of the park, Lewis Wright, Billy Shaw. And we've had a few new old faces come back. Daniel Platt, much-loved goalkeeper from a couple of seasons ago, has come back. No, not with a new face, but with new teeth, if I remember correctly, from a clash that he had with one of the centre-forwards. And Chris Late joins us today. Latey's had more clubs than Peter Stringfellow, but played very nicely for us before, but didn't really fit in with the pragmatic style of the manager at the time. The more free-flowing football under Paul Smith. We hope that his attacking talents will be seen and brought back down to the Grove. We've got a few new players in as well. Kyle Finn, who played very well for Hereford in their run to the FA Trophy final last year, and Harry White, who's been around both in the league and non-league at our level for a number of years, and we're very excited about. Finally, we've finished up signing the ginger-haired Brett Lloyd from Leamington, the ginger-haired and ginger-bearded Callum Flanagan, and a bloke called Jack Redhead. It seems that you've got to be ginger to play. Now, I'm not going to get my boots out. You can remember playing with me how god-awful I was. But this seems to be the new policy. Don't red and blue clash? Not so sure. The best signings, the best stability, the best trio that we have at the club, though, remain. Paul Smith, the manager, who's done a great job here carrying us through to the FA Trophy semi-final the year before last, and giving us a great ride and bringing back the good times to the Grove over the last 2 or 3 difficult seasons. Karen and the other Macca, co-chairs at the club, our lady chairman and other director, continue to give us the stability that we really haven't seen at the Grove under some of the, I'll go with owners who've had us over the last few years. So we know that we've got a great base to build from, and that they're there and continue to look after us. The ageless wonder Colin Brooks is still there as well. I think Colin's 112 now, the oldest man in Barnsley. But he's there every Saturday, out putting the divots back on the pitch and getting around telling people all of his stories about when he was training with the Busby Babes. We've started pre-season friendly, drew 2 apiece at Nuneaton Borough, looked very good in the first half last week, so I understand. Then we've got a few lined up. This Saturday we go and see the Posh Brummies in Boldmere, then a trip to the seaside, Dudley-on-Sea, as we all go down to Stourport, Evesham away, our old, something beginning with F, friends, foes, something else, Tamworth the week after. We host Kidderminster on the 31st, and then we've got 2 ties against that mob from under the viaduct, our old friends at Starbridge Town. They're spending a lot of money this year, I've seen. They've had our old striker Montel Gibson go there. They've signed 1 or 2 more today, and I understand that they've had the main stand reseeded and are looking to put a new bit of rope down the Cricket Square side. So, where we finished this year? New league, you never quite know. There's a lot of money being chucked about. Our old friends at Spalding, where we won the league in 1990, are supposed to be spending big money, but you don't know until the season starts. We've done very well at this level, and if you would have put the last 2 leagues together under points per game over the last 2 truncated seasons, we'd have topped the league. But we'll see. Let's see how it all goes. The season starts in early September. In early August. The fixtures are out in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully I'll speak to you then and see you once more down watching the bright golden haze at the Grove. Cheers, DF.
Folks, that was Guy Cooper. Listen, this is the end of the show. I couldn't fit everything in. It's a nightmare. What are we going to do the next month? Guys, wave goodbye, wave goodbye. What are we going to do? I'm going to leave you with some words of wisdom from Paul Jennings, who's our guest, main guest next month on the show. Oh, guys, what a great show. Thanks ever so much. Thanks so much for anyone that may have listened. I think we've got through some stuff. Definitely variety in there. Some cracking music of all ilks. Good, ladies and gentlemen, good night.
Got a swan here. Have you ever known anyone? I hope it's rare enough. But don't like you, Dave. Have you ever known a swan ever break anybody's arm? They will turn around and say a swan can break your arm with its wing. It's like, right? Have you ever been in the casualty department at A&E and seen a kid with a saucepan on his head? But the Beano, the dandy, always had kids in the casualty departments with saucepans on their heads. I've never seen one. I've never seen a kid with a saucepan on his head.
It's all about you, Black Country Extra.